We are live. Hello, everyone, and happy June. Happy new month. I trust and hope that you all are doing well. Thank you for coming on to our show today. And today we're talking all about planning. Today we are jumping into how we can help you to streamline your processes. We can help you think more clearly about your goals as you go into the next month. It's applicable for June, it's applicable for the next 6 months, it's applicable for the next year. And I want to thank you for coming on. I'm Michelle O'Connor, business growth strategist, and this is what I did for the past 10 years. And I thought that I would come on, jump into this space and help smaller business owners because I know you don't have the structure that a larger organization has. You may not have a strategy office, you don't have a strategic planner, you don't have somebody to manage execution. You are everything. You are sales, your marketing, you name it. And so my aim is to make this process of your business and managing your business much more seamless, and that's what we want to talk about today. So if you know anyone who has a business, has a private practice, have them jump on. This is where they need to be, right? So one of the things I asked, do you have a plan? The responses are the same. Yeah, we do. I kind of have something written down, but not so sure if we follow it. Or you might hear, I've been winging it for the past 10 years. It has been working. But where a lot of persons are now is that they have realized that what they have done or what they have been able to do 10 years ago, they really can't continue it for the next 10 years. And so they need help. And I want you to think about this. If you're going on a journey and you kind of know where you want to be, but you don't have a map, or I'm going to drive on this road, that's the reason. Think about your plan like your Google Maps, or whichever application you use, Waze, you name it. That it's your roadmap. Exactly what it is. It's your roadmap to your success. It's your roadmap to your destination. And what tends to happen is if you don't have an idea where you're going, you don't look ahead, you don't think about, are there any accidents on the road? Did anything happen? You just drive and it takes you probably longer to get to your destination. But if you have a roadmap and you are clear about where you're going, then it makes it easier. Also, I want you to think about this. If it is that you travel on a route, you had a map, you've been using the map and it's been helping you, know the route at the back of your hand, it makes it easier, but you needed to have a plan before. And that is what we're going to be talking about. So encourage persons to come on. Thank you for coming on. So we're jumping right into it. So I'm going to be taking you through 4 steps that I want you to think about. First thing is assess how you perform in the past. Like what does your past performance look like? The next thing we want you to do is to set a goal. Like, where am I going? Just like we use the travel destination example just now. Where am I going? The next thing is, what do you need to get there? And what support do you require? Those are the 4 things. And every single month, if you apply these 4 things to your business, to your practice, you will be surprised as to how much more structured you are. It also positively impacts your team because they also have clarity on where you're going. You also have something that you're assessing them on. You're looking on a framework that you all created together and you're designing your next steps. So that's what we're going to be talking about. So let's jump right in. The first thing is assess how you have performed in the past. Now, we tend to want to jump into fixing what we feel isn't working. So you may find, oh, you know what, social media isn't working for me. I need somebody to help me with social media. I need somebody to help me with marketing. My people aren't happy. I need a people specialist to come in. When I hear those things, I normally go to, let's look at your plan and look at what you're doing. And as the leader, if you are not clear on where you are going and the goals that you have set out, you can easily confuse the team that you have. You can easily confuse yourself, and that now goes off on your team and they feel it. They feel it in a very strong way. So when you think about assessing your performance, okay, what hasn't working? My people, they have not been happy. I'm getting negative reviews from my customers, so I know customer service is something that I need to work on. I am not making the profits that I need. I feel burnt out. Those are the things that have not worked. What maybe has worked for us we're meeting our targets barely. Maybe you're superseding them. You probably no want to set a higher goal, or we're barely able to meet our expenses. Some days we have a lot of patience, some days we don't. So assess your performance, whatever it is. And I often say to persons, your assessment is a no judgment zone, because just like with traveling, you may decide you're going on this particular route and something happens while you're on that route. Do you just give up and say, you know what, I'm going back home? No, because maybe your destination is important to you. What you now do is go back to your plan, which is your maps online. Let's use that as an example. And you decide, okay, you know what, it did give me a few other routes. Let me see if I can get there using this route. What does this route look like? And that is exactly what I want you to do for your business when you're thinking about your assessment and how you're trying to navigate the journey that you're on, because it is a journey. And in my corporate life, one of the things we would do is create a roadmap. We have a 5-year roadmap. And every year we look at where are we at this particular point on the roadmap, and do we need to make a detour? Do we need to pause? Do we need to refuel? You name it. So assess your performance and let it be a no judgment zone. If you have a office manager, a business partner, an accountability partner, have that conversation with them, because sometimes we can't see our blind spots and others can, and that does help. So that's step one, assess your past performance. And also your past performance helps you to know what can you do again and what shouldn't you do again. And that is why the assessment now becomes important before the planning, because you don't want to start planning to do something that you have tried in the past that hasn't worked. You now want to think about the things that has worked and how you're going to be utilizing them going forward. All right. So if you are joining us, please share, where you're joining from. If you have any questions at any point in time, I'm Michelle O'Connor, Business Growth Advisor. If you're new to my page and new to my live, so go ahead and drop your information in the chat, and let's keep this engaging, and let me know if you have any questions. So the next thing we want to do is set a goal. And I would have said earlier, when you're doing your assessment, maybe you're meeting your profit target, maybe you aren't. Maybe where you are now, the business is stable, you're making the money that you want to make. You want to step back, so you want to be able to earn enough or generate enough revenue so you can hire someone to take over. And that is also good, because you are setting a goal. What is that goal? And we can decide on some metrics. I always start with my KPIs, guys, and I encourage you, set those goals. Don't just set a thought, because that is not measurable. When you decide that I want to generate $100,000 in the next month, what you do is you work towards that $100,000, and you can check your numbers and see, am I meeting that goal? How far off am I? What do I need to do? Will these things, and you start crunching your numbers, will these things help me to get to my goal? Set your goals. So whether your goals, I want to be able to keep my expenses flat, I don't want them to grow over the next 6 months. I want to increase my revenue by X%. I want to increase the number of patients for this particular service that we offer. I want to increase my cash flow. I want to not better manage, because I want numbers. So maybe you're taking persons with insurance, they don't have insurance, persons are paying in pocket. You want to increase those groups, particular groups of patients, you name it. Set those goals. And your goals are not cast in stone. You can review, and that is why it's good when you set them, because when you set the goal and every month you're now able to go back through and see, did I do what I planned to do? Or am I off? You huddle with your team, if you have a team, or if it's you alone. We needed to get 10 of these particular, or 10 of these type of patients to come in. We're now at 2, and we're halfway in the month. What do you think we can do? What have we done? And we'll get to that. That's the next thing, what you need to do to achieve your goal. But when you have that goal set, you're better able to look at a number, because as I always say, numbers never lie. And when you have your numbers set and you know exactly what you're going for, you can easily look at, your performance, get your numbers and see what you're doing. And in setting the goal, I encourage you, remember, you're the CEO of your business. Looking at your numbers is very, very important. Sometimes, you look at it enough to know that, all right, 10 persons came in, that means we're off by X amount based on what they came for. But know your numbers, so you're making objective decisions, and you're making decisions that can drive your practice forward. What do you need to do? The third thing is, so we've covered reviewing your past performance, setting your goal. The third of the four things, what do you need to do to achieve your goal? So what do you need to do to get there? So let's go back to the travel analogy. You are going on a journey. You have set your goal. I need to get there every Saturday now for the next 18 weeks. I'm going to be traveling with my son to a soccer game based on his schedule, right? So the first thing we do, we set, okay, what time do we need to get there? We need to be there an hour before game starts. The boys are usually very anxious. Anything can happen on the way. So we plan to reach there 2 hours or an hour and a half before the scheduled time that we need to get there, right? So you set your goal. The goal is the time that you need to reach. So for your practice, what is that KPI? What's that goal that you're working towards? Also, I'm now saying, what do I need to get there? I may need to make sure that we have food. We need to make sure we have gas in the tank, depending on which country you're in. You may need to top up on your toll, or it's electronic, you name it. So you think about that the same way, the same process. What I want you to understand is the same process you apply to your regular life. It's the same process you're applying to your business. What do you need to get there? All right, so let's say you decide that you want to grow a particular group of your clients. What do you need? Okay, maybe we need to increase our marketing. Maybe we need to implement a referral program. Maybe we need to have more engagement with our insurance companies. You name it. Maybe we need to assign somebody to manage our expenses. Think about all the things. And what I normally do for clients, and I encourage you to do it, once you set a goal, say your revenue goal is 100,000, 150,000. I think I sent in my newsletter, so I'm using the example that I had used. So the goal is to grow revenue. Your target for Q3 is 150,000. What are the things that you need? All right, what I need to do is I need to implement a referral program. We're going to need to ensure we're onboarding. We're seeing 3 patients per day. We need to send emails once per week. We need to follow up with patients who have set appointments, give them a call to say, are you coming? I know in this age of technology and automating a lot of processes, we sometimes don't value, I don't want to say old time, but the ways of communication that we used previously. And those are taking up the phone and making a call. You have an appointment. Are you coming? Yes, you may have sent a text. I've gotten this. Oh, we send text, we send an email reminder, and things happen. And life is busy for everybody. And so I encourage you, pick the phone up, call persons. Are you still coming? Do you remember that you have an appointment with us? So don't leave anything out. A lot of times what can also happen for us is we think about a goal and we believe that we have, we think about a goal and we believe we have everything. Yeah, man, I have it in my head. Put it on paper. Ensure your team knows it. And if you have a team, this is also important, because the more your team is a part of the planning work, the higher the chances of it being done and being done successful. Because you're not just now giving them things to do, you're making them a part of the conversation. They understand the why, they understand what it takes to get there, and they now are more involved. You're not just saying to them, oh, we're going after this amount, this is what I want you to do, get up and go. make them a part of it. And you don't need to take everything on. This is something else I say to my CEOs. You don't need to do everything. You have a team, engage them. Engage them. There's a reason you walk into some establishments and you don't always see the owner, you don't always see the CEO. Yes, there are times they can come on the floor and meet and greet, but a lot of times they're around the back thinking about, or what are we going to do to grow, or what partnerships do we need to form, what collaboration, what do we need to do. They're looking at the books, they're looking at the numbers, they're looking at the stock, you name it. There are different things that you get to do. Empower your people. And sometimes I have found the people want to do more. They want to be involved, and it does take training. And that could be another thing that you need to do. We need to train our people. They really don't know about the service that we're delivering. What can we do? And I always say to persons, what you're being asked to do is no different from what large organizations are doing. It's just that they have a team of persons who is working. They're working on that. They have a specific role, but you don't. And that is, I encourage you, get somebody who can take the load off. You will be surprised how much faster you grow, how much more money you're able to make, because you have now allowed the person who is good at business to do the business side of things. And then you are focusing your expertise on serving your patients. Think about your accounting. Imagine you had to sit down and learn accounts to do your numbers, to prepare your financial statements, to file your taxes. No, but you hire an expert. Getting a business advisor, getting a business consultant is no different. So think about that. The last thing is, what support is needed. Now, I meet persons sometimes, and one of the challenges that they have is they hired somebody. Let's use marketing as an example. They hired somebody to do marketing, and they're like, it's not working. I'm not getting the results. Sometimes it's not that the thing that the person is doing isn't working. It's just that it's not aligned with the plan that you have in the first place. And when you don't have a plan, you tend to pick things up along the way that's not serving your greater purpose. So if you have a plan to grow and you're looking to, make $150,000 in revenue for the next month, and you have clearly defined who those patients are that you're going to be targeting, you've clearly defined the services that you're going to be offering them, then your marketing completely aligns to what you're promising to deliver. However, if you are not clear about that and you see somebody saying, oh, you should go on TikTok, and you jump over to TikTok, or you see somebody say, oh, you should do reels and talk about this and say it this way, and you're picking up all of those things on the way, chances are it won't work because it's not aligned to where you're going. I have met persons who are not on social media for their business. They're doing pretty fine. Very, very well. More better than persons who are showing up every day. Simply because they have figured out who they're targeting, where their customers are, and they do what is necessary just to go after them. So it may be that you need a marketing plan, but once you have the goal, you know exactly what support in terms of marketing you're going to be needing. And I have partnered, I'm actually going on a podcast with one marketing strategist for private practice owners. And one of the things he says to me is, the first thing I do when I meet with them is that I ask them for a plan. Because they also have the fear that they're going to spend all of this time, do this work, and you're going to hear, oh, it didn't work or it's not working, when you didn't have a plan in the first place. You need something to work with. You need a goal. You need to know where you are going. So think about the support that you need. Maybe you have the right team. Maybe they have the right attitude. They're hardworking, but they need training. You may need somebody to come in and do a training on customer service. You believe that the referral program is important because you do have patients, you refer them for procedures, but there's no follow-up. You refer them, they go, they do their procedure, they're successful, but you never ever hear from them again. Maybe you need to implement something. And think about it this way. When you make an investment, know that's going to continue to generate revenue and income for you for the next 5, 10, 15 years. That's a good investment. So you might be saying, oh, I can't, but can you afford not to? And I always ask that question. Person might say, I can't afford to. My question is, can you afford not to? And I want you to think about that as you are going into the next month, as you're going into the next quarter, as you're going into the next 6 months of the year. Planning is important. So we discussed today reviewing your past performance, setting your goals, deciding what do you need to get there, how am I going to achieve this goal, and then what support do I need to achieve, what support do I require to make this a success. So I hope this helped. If you were helped by this or you think of someone else who can be helped, I want you to go ahead and share this live with them wherever you're joining from. And remember, if you need to connect with me or I want to connect with you, I also want to know what's stopping you. What are some of the challenges that you're having? What is not working for you in your practice? So I can also structure my lives that they can serve you better. So go ahead, I drop my link in the chat. Schedule your free consultation call with me and let's help making how you show up more structured, more organized, make more money, because that's what you all want to do in the end. Have a happy and supportive team and get some time to do you. Yeah, I talk to persons, they want to do courses, they want to write books, they want to speak, but guess what? They need to show up in their practice. Let's work with you on how you can get out of your practice if that is even your goal. As we wrap up, I was talking to this, I had this call with this gentleman, and he said to me, Michelle, I just want to go and shoot birds. And that can be a goal of yours, your personal goal, because as a small business owner, there are personal interests that you have. And I always encourage persons to structure your business around that, because you don't want to be resentful in the end. He says, I just want to go and shoot birds in the next 6 months. What can we do right now to fix this business so I can bring the persons on who are needed so I can go and shoot birds? As simple as that. So your goal can never be too small. So thank you again for joining. I'm Michelle O'Connor. And if you need to reach out, please go ahead and schedule a call. We'll talk. Have a great week.